Hi, I'm Reena Simon. I'm creative director, author and founder of Hygge for Home, and I'm excited to show you around my house today. So we found this in 2018. We had outgrown our period property. We had this really beautiful terraced cottage and we just needed more space. We wanted more garden as well. And we stumbled across this 1960s bungalow. It definitely wasn't our first choice. That isn't what we were looking for. And it was very much an ugly duckling. But what we fell in love with was the trees. So it was just surrounded by nature and trees. We're in the suburbs of Cardiff. We're not far at all from the city centre. But when you're here, it just feels like you're living in a cabin in the woods. When I'm designing my home or any space, I always start with mood. I really want to kind of get to the feeling, like how do I want to feel in this space? I had to think about materiality very early on, so walls, floors and ceilings. So you'll see how I've used that in the home to add character to what essentially had nothing. It had no character, there was no period features. So I had to build from the ground up. So you'll see that I've used lots of different materials, from polished concrete floors to using cladding and cross-sawn oak on the walls. And that really does help with the atmosphere and engaging the senses. I've always been drawn to the honesty of Scandinavian design, the calm, light and function. But I pair it with British warmth and craftsmanship. And what I've really learnt and lent on is that not everything has to shout to be beautiful. Light, texture and nature are the constants. They do all the quiet work in making a space feel peaceful. When you've got nature all around you and then you're bringing it into the house, and when you're really leaning on your materials and letting them do the hard work for you, you realise like just how beautiful and calming a space can be when you do look to Scandinavia for design inspiration. If I had to choose 3 words to describe my home, I always land on calm, cosy and tactile. So I think it's really calm, and that's partly because of the open plan living space. Everything's quite airy and just open. And then I'd say tactile. I feel like I've designed the house so it's in a very touchy-feely way. It really does feel cozy, which is quite the challenge when you've got an open plan living space. But I really lean on texture and add warmth through the soft furnishings that I've chosen. So even though when you look around our home, everything, all the materials we've used look quite precious, actually they can withhold family life. There's nothing precious here. It's all fine for wear and tear. We've got lots of vintage pieces as well and lots of different types of wood. It's very minimalist, but it actually works really hard for family life. One of the biggest design inspirations for the house has to be the Welsh landscape. You only have to look behind me to see all of the trees, all of the nature. We've got a stream running at the bottom of the garden. I just love borrowing from that and bringing it indoors, and you'll see that as we move around the house. So you'll see in the kitchen, we've gone for open shelving. So I really love this over having closed cabinetry. And again, that's because I wanted to keep everything light and bright, and I didn't want to have anything closed off. And that's really important when you've got an open plan living space. Giving me an opportunity to have things on display and memories. So as a family, we travel quite a lot. And so with having the open shelving, I've picked up pottery and pieces along the way. And then every time I look at it, it just evokes memories and happy ones. So you'll notice from the outside of the house that it is clad in black Siberian larch, and that's using a Japanese method called shosugiban. And because I really appreciate continuity and flow in design, I wanted to mirror the exterior with the interior. So we decided to go for this inky blue black cabinetry. The kitchen's actually wooden, again, the same as the exterior of our house. And even though you wouldn't typically see a black kitchen in Scandi design, I just also appreciate Japanese design, and you know about Japandi, which is the fusion of Scandinavian design and Japanese. So I think that this really does reflect that. So one of the things I love the most about the kitchen are the materials that I've chosen. So we've got the inky black cabinets, and then I wanted to pair it with something softer, but was still from the same kind of family. So this is a faux concrete, but it feels like it's from the earth and it's very textured and has movement in it. And what I wanted to do was to carry this material from the island to the splashback and onto the shelf and the worktops. And that just again means there's continuity in the design. It means that there's nothing competing for attention and it feels very calm and tranquil. This is definitely my favourite spot in the house. I just love the dining room. It's got this view out to the garden and just watching the seasons all year round. I really love the dining table. I think part of it is because I spend so much time here. You know, I have breakfast here, all our meals, I work from the table, I'm with the kids here. The doors actually slide back and forth, so in the summer especially, which is my favourite time of year, when we sit here with the doors open, it feels like we're sat outside. It's just, again, adds that calm and tranquility. I absolutely love our living room. It's in the corner section of our open plan living space, and I have got a lot of seating here because we have a very big family and we love to gather around the fire for movie nights. What I wanted to do in this room was to really, if we talk about the walls and the floors and the ceilings, I really wanted to add character. So I've used this cross-sawn oak wood here to frame the window seat, and it actually frames this incredible view of the garden as well. I wanted to have, again, a connection to the outdoors. I've then got this modular sofa, and what I like about this is when we have movie nights, we can move it all around and we can all be together. We do watch movies, we love an 80s movie night, but we also love gathering around the fire, and that's why I've made the fire the central feature of the living space. I really do like to mix hard and soft materials. A New Zealand wool rug on the floor, and then we've got a concrete table, and that all adds to this whole kind of warm Scandi minimalism design. Half of the living room has got a suspended ceiling and has got a double height space, and then suspended lighting travelling into the room. And what I really love about that is that, again, it adds this kind of character and it adds a bit of drama and vastness to the space. I'm now upstairs in my bedroom, and I've designed this space to feel like a hotel suite. So you'll see behind me that it's open plan and that it leads into like an upstairs living room. And that's because we didn't get our first design approved by planning. Our second design got approved. So we've only got half of this first floor. And so we really wanted to maximise this kind of cosy retreat for me and my husband. So we've got our own area of calm away from all the children. We've got floor to ceiling glass upstairs as well as downstairs. So we've got this constant connection to nature. And I just absolutely love waking up every day to the view of the trees. And it really does feel like we're in a tree house up here. So over in the corner of the bedroom is one of my favourite rooms in the house. It's the ensuite. It's where I start and end my day. And I've really paid attention to some incredible tactile materials in there. I've used this polished plaster, which is called Tactile. It's a Moroccan plaster. It's in blush pink and it's supposed to mirror bare plaster walls. I've also used my favourite tiles. They're called Zlige tiles, and they're in a blush pink. And it just means that the room feels very calm and tranquil. And it's just really beautiful to look at and touch and feel. I'm really passionate about imperfect design, so nothing has to feel too pristine and perfect. So you'll see that where it all joins together, it's all a bit higgledy-piggledy, but that's the beauty in it. I've loved showing you around today. I hope you've enjoyed the tour. Thank you so much for watching.